Welcome back, everybody. It's Molina Mike here, late night edition, really late night edition for some of you guys, depending on what time zone you're in. Of dogging it, as you can see, I'm solo at the moment. My main man Joey is a little bit MIA right now. Panozzo's out in Italy, but I do what we got to do. The show must go on. I've been wanting to do a Masters recap, so yeah, here we are, and I'm excited for it. Let us know in the chat if you can hear us as always. Hopefully the audio is coming in. We're not getting any technical difficulties here. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna go and I wanted to do this show, and but I needed some help, man. I can't be riding solo all the time. So, as much as it pains me, you know, to go and well, you know, yeah.
I mean,
I
I
don't
just want to know, like, why am I like your 18th call though? Like, that's what I want to know.
don't make it awkward. I mean, you may or may not be after 18. I'm not saying you are.
I mean,
I'm
are we
not
doing
saying I'm
matchroom ranking style? Like, because I mean, I should be up there. You know what I mean?
I don't think I really don't think you want me to go and answer that, to be honest with you. Where you would
I
rank on
just
that
don't
list.
get it. I mean, in my group, all I do is preach about how awesome you are and how much you've done for Florida Pool and for me.
You
And
know,
all I do is give you praise, but then I can't even get
you're
a guest
here.
appearance.
You're this is the second time in like what is it, like a week? I mean,
Man,
you're hitting some high numbers here, my
well,
man.
it's a beautiful day to be a part of the podcast. And the last one was good too because it was right in the heat of the Masters. And I love pool. I love watching it. It was a good competition then. Today is a big day for pool. A lot of stuff's happening. So I'm always grateful, even if I'm your last call. I'm always grateful.
Well, listen, I appreciate you, for, kind of just being available when I need you to be available, and I know you got kids or you got a kid, a young
Kid,
daughter.
don't,
So
come on,
my
man.
bad,
Come
my bad. I'm not trying to put
on.
multiples on you like me, man. I'm
You
not.
know what I mean?
But
Like, one.
let's
Let me
jump into the
share this.
Masters. Yeah,
No,
go
no.
to
Before
share.
we get to the you can't jump into the Masters. Let me share this. I gotta let everybody know that I'm a special guest right now. Special guest,
If
me,
anybody's good at
goat.
promoting, it's you. I'm just
Well,
saying.
let me let everybody know that I'm the goat is on.
Here
All
we
right, just
go.
share the dungeon. All right, so before you jump into the Masters, which is awesome because we should recap that as it deserves it. Um,
Great
but
event.
today, I feel like today we should pretty much start and talk about what's going on with the Darren situation. I've seen it all over online. Many people have seen his Facebook post. The video got released, but there was so much confusion and speculation and assumptions and rumors, and it really got a little ugly online as far as what people thought the ban or suspension was for. So I'm really happy to see that Darren stayed true to his roots as the character he is, and he's always been that person that says, "I'm going to say whatever I want, respectfully."
Right.
And not be held back. And he did that today, and I really appreciated that personally.
Well, I mean, I hate to be lame, but if we're gonna go there, let's just go there and let's just jump in. And you're right, because it was the news of the day, and it was pretty big news. We talked about it some when I was on Nate's show, and really, as in my mind, Matchroom was the one that released it. With Carl going and interviewing Emily and them putting that out there, they kind of just opened up Pandora's box as far as it going and catching the
Right.
momentum that it has. So
Yep.
I don't want to hear any complaints on their end when it comes to beating a dead horse. But it's you got to be fair to both sides. There was some talk whether or not the information that was on the Cue It Up show that I was on was accurate. So Darren, like you said, fair to who he is, he wants to go and do his video, which I thought was, by the way, a phenomenal video. I
Yep.
love I love sincere people. I got respect for
Raw.
people that are
Raw.
raw and
Yeah.
just I'm gonna show you who I am, for better or worse. And if you love me, you love me, and if you don't, you don't. But I'm gonna tell you how it is. I got nothing but love for doing it like that, and it takes a lot of to go and really make yourself vulnerable, because like it's real easy to go and I don't want to say get embarrassed, but it is kind of embarrassing,
Yeah,
the
it is.
whole having to go and relive it. So um I don't know where to begin with it, to be honest with you. If you guys haven't seen it, go check out Darren Appleton's YouTube. It's all over Facebook right now, so you guys can go and sweat that video. I think it's like 20 something minutes long.
It's worth it.
Um, but in my, I'll just say this. I'm not gonna go and recap from beginning to end. I think Darren deserved to get punished by the WPA because of what happened, right? Because they're the governing body. That's their role in the industry. That's what they go and do, because they don't do
Right.
much, but they do that. Um, what I have a problem with is Matchroom going and adding a punishment on top. For me, it sets a terrible precedent, something that hasn't been done before, as far as I know. And I'll start by saying that I think that if Matchroom wants to be the governing body of pool, they're the perfect ones for that role, because they're the ones taking it to the next level. So I'll start with
Yeah.
that. But if you say you don't want to do it, and if your whole position up until this point has been, we're gonna respect the WPA and whatever it is they do, then damn it, respect what they do. And that means respect the punishment that they go and hand down to him. Don't go and add on top of that man when he's already losing a lot of money. A lot of money.
There was a lot of consequence. I think we don't. I think it just looks at it as you could summarize it and say, all right, he got fined $1,500. For the people who don't know, he responded to some people disrespectfully. He was in a match, Hill, lost, got drug test for the 17,000th time. 2 weeks ago, he got tested. They tested him again. He just happened to lose Hill, and he got frustrated and decided to tell people, and share some words in
Wow.
frustration. Rightfully so. Long story short, he recaps it way better than that. But if you can say the consequences were only, all right, you missed 3 events and $1,500 fine, but it's so much more than that,
A lot
because
more.
I'm newer to pool, right? I've been following pool for about 6 years, heavily in the pro pool about 4 years now, and I wasn't around when Darren was Darren, right? So I'm seeing this Darren, and everybody's talking about how he's he's showing us again.
He's
He's
one
coming
of the
back.
most decorated players that have ever played Q Sports and
And now he's
American
on an
pool.
upswing, and it kind of just hits him in a brick wall,
Not even that he's in the upswing. The guy may be in the twilight of his career because of his age
right?
right now. So his opportunity to go and his ability to go and create opportunity based off of his play may be limited. So when you talk about a career that's only going to be this long because of his, just from an age standpoint, not from a skill standpoint,
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
strictly from a numbers game, and to go and hit him like that is pretty brutal. But I don't I don't mind if Matchroom starts going and punishing players on their own
Where
if
does
they
it
want
stop
it.
though? Where
That
does
well,
it? Where
no,
does
no,
it
but
stop?
here's the thing. Now you got to have consistency with it, because
Right.
if you're gonna do this with Darren, don't make him the example and then go and say, "Oh, we're gonna pass the buck on the WPA from here on out,"
Right.
because that no longer that's no longer the case now, because now
Right.
you've opened up Pandora's box.
You
And for
set
full
precedent
disclosure,
just now.
yeah. Full disclosure, Matchroom's always welcome on this show. I've had many conversations with Emily, and
I
she's
think
always
Emily's
been.
a fan. Emily follows your work too. There's no disrespect in
No,
any.
no.
He
I mean,
just, you know, it's pool. This is what we do. We report pool
we
shit
love to
on our
cover the
page,
game. That's the main
right?
thing.
That's what we do.
But if they put out the story, which they did, and they did, because they were the ones that went and first released it, then you got to be willing to go and take whatever backlash may
Yeah,
come, from
for
people
sure.
going and hearing both sides of it. Um, I don't think any part of what Darren said was inaccurate, as far as what I know. And I love, I love that he went and reached out to those people that day and apologized and jumped through hoops, wrote the letter, paid the fine, all that stuff. But if you're gonna make an example out of him, well, now you better back it up with everybody else. You better back it up with everybody that's a part of pro pool
And
players.
this could get tricky, Mike. This could get, I mean, this could be a revolving doors of suspensions. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people act the fool,
Yeah.
and it's just we're
And now you
human.
gotta have, and listen, in a social media age, people are gonna find out about things a lot more rapidly than they ever did before.
Right.
And some things where you may want to go and keep it behind the curtain isn't going to stay behind the curtain. And if you're going to go and do this to that guy, you better be willing to go and be as tough to anybody else that's going and playing.
Yeah.
um Darren's a champion. I love his passion. I I love the person that he is on the table and in competition. And I think it's a raw deal for
Yeah,
him. But
personally, I'm a fan of Matchroom. I'm a fan of Emily. I know you are as well. I
yeah,
think they do great things. You could not agree with everything they do, but at the end of the day, they put a lot of money in. They spend a lot of hours, and I'm grateful for what they do. I don't have to agree with everything, but when it comes to
definitely.
this, I think that um, I do like them trying to set a standard, but sometimes I think we just maybe should think it through a little bit more as from an opinion and
But
outside perspective because of what you're saying is that the box that you just opened can be really it can get pretty bad. You know, when
you
Shaw slams a chalk because he misses a ball, are we gonna find that? Like, where does it stop? Because you have to be equal to Shane. Let's say
mm,
Shane bangs a cue. You better treat him the same that you just did Darren.
I I think they're coming from a standpoint of it was the aggressiveness was towards their guy. It was
Language.
towards yeah, that
Fuck off. Any
attitude was towards their people. And I love the
yeah.
loyalty. I do. I respect the
Yeah.
loyalty. I do. You know, but if you go and take ownership and you're already contrite and you're apologetic and I don't think one overreaction deserves another overreaction. And I do think this one was an overreaction. But
Yeah.
if they decide to take on that role, which now it seems like they are, then you better follow through throughout because
It's
the
not
door's
too late
open.
to pull. They can pull back and say, you know what, we're out of line. Go ahead, Darren, go play your thing and be done.
I think there's a lot of pride there, to go and want to go and pull back on it. I could be mistaken. But like I said, I got no issue with it if they want to go and do this from here on out. But
Right.
it's like this is surprising that now this is the time when it's a little ridiculous of a situation, all things considered, right? Because it's all about perspective. Um, and I mean, we'll see what happens,
We'll see.
you know.
I
But
loved his video. Loved
it,
his raw. What we don't see, Mike, is we don't see a lot of people. You've done a great job yourself personally, along with some others in the industry, where you've taken the time to interview players, so we can get a more. You do a fantastic job of filling us in on what's going on in the billiards world because there is so much, and in
right,
order to understand the billiards world, you've got to follow. I would guarantee you're at least following 700 groups right now, and I'm being legit. It's somewhere around there, and there's just so much stuff to know, compartmentalize. You do that great, and you even on top of it, you got us to get to know the players a little bit more. Joey's done a great job of that too. We don't see that often, and
yeah,
I'll express it to y'all who's watching that video. You really got to get an inside look at Darren, who he is, and his character, and I think it's really good for the sport for us to get
yeah.
to know players on a deeper level,
I
even
mean,
through an unfortunate circumstance.
I love passion, man, but nobody's perfect, and we all go and make mistakes. I'm the punishments are fine because you have a child. I got kids, and Lord knows I've made plenty of mistakes and gotten punished for them myself. It's part of life, right? You go and mess up, you got to go and pay the consequences. But
Yeah,
if your stance up until this point is we're going to respect the governing body of pool, well, now you just pretty much dismiss their how they go and handle things and saying it wasn't enough, and now we're going to go and do more. Well, you better have that throughout now, or you're going to get judged by a lot of people online, whether it's fair or not. So anyway, yeah, I mean, it really was the
I
news of
was
the
out
day.
there. Y'all can
I
see it.
listen, I love Darren's a genius on social media. I love him going and promoting the video, putting it out, you know 18 hours later or whatever it was. So I think he did a great job there, and I love the honesty. I just do. But anyway, I think that's enough on that conversation.
Yeah.
Appreciate you bringing it up because now I'm probably gonna have to hear it. I'm sure at some point. But hey, listen, the window's always
Love
open,
pool.
right? No
Nobody
pun
should take it
intended.
personally. Our opinion should never be taken personally. We love pool, and that's what we want to talk about. Right or wrong, we want to talk about it. But
Well,
let's talk about good
let's
shit
talk
stuff.
about the Masters, man. Let's talk about the Masters. Let's talk about a great event that just happened. Josh Filler goes and dominates. Kazakis, uh, defending champion, does not go and dominate. In fact, and
Crazy.
we'll get to that. We'll get to that in just a minute. But there was a lot of seeds that went down. Um, but really, the story for me of the show was Josh. he was one of the only, ironically enough, one of 2 out of, I think, 8 seeds
Yep.
that got the first round bye and that actually won their match. So that was a story in and of itself. I know you
Right.
watched a lot because you love pool and you may or may not, degenerately go and gamble on it. So I'm curious, what were your thoughts on actually which match was most impressive for you as someone who watched a lot of them?
I really liked. I liked the Dennis and I liked the co-match personally. I enjoyed the co-match a little bit more, but I think his performance in general is really great. He's such a top player. I don't know who compares to him, but at the end of the day, the guy he pots the balls, he settles for the long shots, he doesn't mind it, he gets out, and I just love it. I love him as a player. I love his emotion, right or wrong, with the excitement because I could identify with that as I'm a player
You
that's loud.
you're a what now?
I'm a player that's loud and
Did you say player or
emotional.
pro player?
A
I
pool
thought you
player.
said pro player. Pool
No,
player. Okay. No,
no,
I'm just clarifying here. My
no.
audio's cutting out. I just want to
I
make sure.
enjoy it. I think he did great. I
You've
mean,
been known to get emotional and to get riled up and to get a little animated and
I get a
colorful,
little
if you will.
animated. I think it sells the tickets though, and he's a ticket seller, and he's great on
Oh,
top of it. I mean, he's top. He's number one on the Fargo list, as we all seen today. That got released. He's 5 points ahead of Shane now on Fargo, which is the biggest gap anybody's ever had. He had him by 1 point. Now he's got him by
well, let
five.
him
He's a
let
four.
him go and play. Let him go and play big table 10 ball. And we'll see. Anyway,
I'd love to
I
see it
I
too.
I digress. But the kid's box office. He's
Yeah.
money. He's made for the big time. He's made for big moments. He made that so-called toughest table on earth, that 4-inch pocket table, looked very amateurish and very Valley Bar Box esque. As simple as he went and moved the ball, put the balls in the hole, moved his cue ball. He was phenomenal from the beginning. I like Sky to go and beat him early on. Obviously, that was way off.
He played Sky Woodward. Yeah, you like
Yeah,
Sky actually. I remember us talking about that. He beats him 7-1. I mean, how strong is that?
winter break, and with his, and it's not even how he can go and start strong because a lot of the matches he came back from a
It,
deficit. I.e. Copigny, he was. I didn't get to watch the first 8 racks of the finals. I don't think a lot of people here in the states
nobody.
did because, yeah, it went on. But it was close, right? And he ended up getting there. He came back from, I think he was down like 3-1 on Co,
Co
and
had a He opened up with a 3 pack.
yeah. So I mean, and in a race to 7, that's massive.
A lot.
So
Imagine if I said you could have Co, +3. Of course, you know what I mean. Like,
you're stealing. Yeah, you're running away with it. And Cole
I,
was playing very, very well. And let's talk about another guy who was playing well, and Dennis Ricolo, which when he played Alex Kazakis, Dennis looked like, well, actually, he played Kachi first, moves on to Kazakis. He looked phenomenal. And then he goes and meets Josh. And
hmm
that might have been one of the best performances on a matchroom stage that we've ever seen.
he only got to what, kick at a ball twice and jump at a ball once after he broke dry. I think it
It's
was something like that.
Yeah, I think it was one kick that he got, and
Seven
Josh just
ball
really
hooked on.
he showed what an imposing figure he can go and be.
Yeah.
And Dennis is Dennis. Like there's very few
Right.
guys that have that it factor. And I know this is the Masters, right? But there was a lot of guys on that list where like they're not intimidating. Jason's
No.
intimidating, Shane's intimidating,
Right.
Josh is intimidating. Dennis is definitely in that mix. And to
hmm
go and keep his ass in that seat the way that he did, the manner in which he did it, for the length that he went and did it,
Gotta
was
get
beyond
respect for
impressive. Yeah, it
for
was
sure.
it was beyond massive. And all in all, just Josh from beginning to end was just he was in a class of his own. And what I he's just a finisher. If you give him an inch, he's gonna go and take a mile, and that's just the kind of player he is. But let's talk about another opponent that was up against Josh in Copinin. I want to ask you because you watched him at the World Championships as well. Is Big Co back, man?
I think the Co brothers are back for sure, and Big Co for sure. I mean, we just watched him. We're watching him now. He's about to compete again and again right after it. But he played great in this tournament. He broke great. He controlled the tables great. He opened up, broke and ran 3, and then he broke and ran 4. and then he broke around 3 against Dennis. So he was very, very consistent throughout the event. He just ran into filler. I mean, you're never supposed to lose if you're up 3-0 and you're Big Co. But the filler factor happened. I
Well,
love
he
these
didn't play.
images you made, Mike. I love this. Is Big Co back? I love
Listen,
this.
we're trying to up our game over here on
Wow.
dogging it. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah, I don't know what to make of him. When I saw him first open up against Ko Ping Chung, sloppy was an understatement.
Yeah.
I think he scratched with 2 balls on the table the first 2 times out of the first 3 games, which is just unheard of in pro pool. But it happened, and it looked like Ko Ping Chung was going to go and take it, but Pinyi just it seemed to find a little hitch in his giddy up. You know, he found some rhythm. Uh, he found a dance around the table that he just hadn't had before. It looked very, 14, 15, 16 co for my money. But yeah, I mean, there ain't no shame in going and losing to filler in that format. But is he
No.
back? Listen, the guy just beat Shane. What was it like 17 to
11.
17 to 8 or 10, whatever it was, 11.
17 to
Um,
big table 10 ball.
Big table 10 ball. I mean, I know what Shane did afterwards because we saw that.
Doesn't matter.
Uh,
You can't take away what he did the first set.
yeah, I guess the point of the topic is he back? I would have to go and say so, and the pool world better watch out because if Taiwanese players are back and if this guy's back, then everyone's going to be on notice. But anyway, moving on, I want to go and talk about some other guys who had a great tournament and a great year.
Yes.
Al Yusuf is just playing phenomenal. I want to get your opinion on not just his Masters, but how he's been playing over the last, let's say, 5 months.
Well, he started off. I think we've seen his name. Everybody has seen that name often. It's not he's no secret to anybody, but I think he really got recognized at the Turning Stone Classic this year because of, or I guess it was the end of last year maybe, but he was on the stream camera back to back because he made it to the third place. He played the semifinals, So and he played so well. All of his defeats in that event, they were gapped. You know what I mean? So he played great. His cue ball was perfect, and that continued the next few events leading up to here, and the event prior to this. And he's playing really consistent, and he's out there now more. And I don't know, maybe that's just me seeing it now, but he's in Bucharest right now. However you say that place, but he's
Proud of
there.
you, man. Reading big words like that.
We all
Growing up
know
in front of my eyes.
pronunciation. I can't spell or read well at all, but
Yeah.
we're in Bucharest, Bucharest, wherever he's at.
You're going backwards. Don't you should
Okay,
have just
I'll
stopped. You
shut
should
up.
have
I'll
just
shut up.
stopped while you were ahead, man. You should have just stopped.
But he's
No, you
competing there, so he flew over there with everybody, and his results are very consistent right now. So he's there.
first of all, shout out to Matchroom for going and putting him in the event because the guy's playing some great 9 ball pool right now. And I love that you're not just it's the old way would have been, I'm gonna stick with, names and
Yeah.
uh it'd be more of a popularity contest. I like the Youngos and the Yusufs and the Loho Sums, which we'll talk about him later on. But I love these guys who are playing great today, being allowed to go and enter in this tournament as a wild card. And you're right, he was fantastic in Turning Stone. He had Jason Shaw right before Shaw went on his tear. I think something like 8-4 or 8-3,
Mm-hmm.
playing in that format out there in New York. He's been very consistent. I think he was a dog in a lot of these matches, starting off with Niels wins that match 7-2, following that up with Oi at 7-3. I think he should have beaten Loho Sum. The standard of play in that match was just terrible by both players.
I think
Loho
at
Sum just
that point,
yeah, I
maybe,
mean
but
he got
yeah,
there. Yeah, he came back to go make it hill, but Loho Sum
hell,
crossed the
hell,
finish line. But early on, I mean they were both missing a lot of balls. But
yeah.
I love the opportunity. I love him making the best of his opportunity by going and beating these names because these guys are names. Niels is a world champion. Oi is very popular on the matchroom stage and he's highly ranked in the 9 ball ranking. So I think the guys had a
Boyd's a
fantastic
big
year.
deal. To beat Niels is a big deal. I mean, those are like you said, their names. And if anybody's going to give anybody the exposure, the best exposure is through Matchroom Stage. So there's no secret about that. They get the most viewers in a tournament, and for them to be able to invite him to this and others, it's not just one person that gets through. It's really awesome, and I like to see that. It's one of the good things about Matchroom, even though we didn't agree before. But what about the other guy, Loho Sum?
Yeah,
I
we'll get
got
to
a funny
we'll
story about
we'll
Loho.
get we'll get
Oh,
to Loho here in a minute.
your
We're gonna
boy Fortunski.
yeah, we're gonna as Dom likes to call him Fort. Um, I for my money, and I want to ask you about his year, but really his performance this year for me was phenomenal. I think Fortunski stole the show for in my eyes. He looked like he could beat anybody the way that he was playing in that event. He looked like there's certain guys that over the last few years that they've been on the cusp of breaking through, but they never really had that signature win or that like stamp on a tournament. This to me was it for Fortunski. I know he came up short against Loho Sum because I think he should have won that match. I expected him to go and win that match, but he made that arena and that event look very basic
Four
because
pockets.
he was
You got to
making it look
remember.
really easy. He was potting just some hard shots with ease and consistency. Um, yeah, for my money, he stole the show for me. I mean, like I expect it from the big names. I expect it
Right.
from Josh. I expect it from Shane. I expect it from all these guys. From Albin. I don't want to say I'm not impressed by what they did, but it's like they already do it so consistently that I kind of expect it from them.
Right.
Fortunski's one of these guys, maybe like a Dennis Grabe, where he seems like he's been on the cusp of wanting to break through, but it's like, are you ever gonna go and do it? Because we all think you can, but are you actually going to go and do it? This
Yeah.
was his time for me, and it was just a phenomenal event for him.
Shaw misses a two ball and he doesn't get back to the table. Really. I mean, how strong was that? And then he goes on and beats the next opponent in a big gap. Uh, he didn't play. Well, he played.
He beat Ruiz 7-4. He beats
Ruiz.
Yap 7-4.
He just wins the Derby, wins a Euro Tour, and then Fort beats him 7-4. That's right. Yeah.
Then he beats Yap, and Yap's been on a tear, all of last year and
I mean,
even
those
at
spots,
the
those are
beginning
the
of
eight
this year.
clubs, and Fort is like a 775 ish. He's beating 800s. I mean, there's not many people at that level, and he's beating them. He played good, broke good. What happened in the semifinals? I mean, I watched that match. Obviously, I had Fort in that match, so I get to learn about these players the hard way when I bet against them. But man, I don't know.
Betting race the 7 winner breaks is tough because you're gonna,
Yeah,
even though this is like considered. I
Fort
mean,
played amazing up until that match, and then
well, he
Loho
was an
Sun played
underdog in the
terrible.
first. He was an underdog. He wins every match. He's an underdog in
Right,
because against
right.
Jason he's an underdog. Against Reese he's an underdog. Against Yap he's an underdog. And the
Yeah,
match where he's the favorite against Loho Sum, ironically
right.
enough, he ends up losing to. That's how sick 9 ball pool is.
And the
And he's
reverse to that is Loho Sun played terrible the entire event, scraped by. I'm not going to say terrible. He missed balls. I mean, reality is he missed a lot of easy outs and he struggled, but he got through, and that's what matters. I don't want to take anything away from the kid at all. And then when he played Fort, he literally played so good, so good.
he did,
So
yeah.
I'm
He really.
excited for Fortunski and Poland. I mean, Poland's just been on the map tremendously lately.
I mean, you can't go and argue. Victor's probably. I think first of all, Victor should have been in this event for my money. But
Yeah,
Victor winning the Alpha event out there in Las Vegas. Wojciech going and following that up with the World 10 Ball Championship, and then this for. I'm curious to see who's going to be. I'd imagine for Tunsi's going to be one part of the duo for the World Cup of Pool. So I'm curious who they're going to go and pick out of Poland because there's probably like
got to be
6
Wicked.
guys. There's got to be like, yeah, but Conrad's been playing a lot and he's more of the vogue name. I mean, I would like to go and see Victor go and get that opportunity.
Or
Personally,
Vocek. I mean, yeah, I'm a big fan of Victor. I mean, who do you? I mean, I don't want to get off topic, but who do you think the best Poland player is?
Victor.
Right. So
And I don't care what the game is. I'm going with Victor.
yeah,
Um,
he's got championships in every single discipline, and he's the only one. I mean, it's
he's been
disgusting.
one of the most consistent 9 ball players. He's been one of the most consistent 9 ball players that over the last at least 9 months, if
Yeah.
not
The only
longer.
question is how does he play Scotch doubles, considering the way he plays pool. But I mean, we'll find out.
They
I
got
want.
they got chemistry in the sense that they were on the road together for X amount of months in the US. If you're gonna
But
be bunking up with someone and rolling in a car with them for that long, either you don't ever want to see them again in your life, or
I share a
y'all are
hotel
like
room with you
family.
4 days. You don't ever want to see me after
Four
that, let alone a month.
after we shared a room for 4 days, I had to block you for like 6 weeks. You know what I
True
mean?
story,
That's just
guys. This is a real life. We're in Aiken, South Carolina, right? Aiken, South Carolina. I tell
I'm
him we
having
get the suite.
PTSD right now.
I get the suite from my boy. I haven't seen him in a while. We only get to see
Don't
each
do
other
that.
2 times a year, even though we talk every day. I said, Mike, I got the suite for you, buddy. Don't worry about it. I'm working for
This
the Omega squad. I told him to book the suite, nothing but the best for my boy. He gets there. The suite is his bedroom is the couch. My bedroom's right there. It's the suite, but it was one of those
oh
Motel
man.
6
Oh,
suites. He
time out.
makes
Yeah, yeah.
2 days and has somebody else buy a room for him to get out of it because everybody he talked to, he just complained every day about me.
Nah,
And
let me
somebody
tell you.
finally bought him a room
First
to
of all,
he left.
first of all, I get there and the man tells me he got a suite. It, you
I
know,
did. I did.
there
Cash
was
money.
like there was a blanket that separated the back where the bedroom was and the front of the room where the couch was. There was like a bed sheet that separated this suite. I'm thinking we're like, top floor type shit, and we're not. I mean, we're not.
No.
And then here's the kicker, because I get there at 3 in the morning, and we're gonna get back to the Masters in just a second. But the kicker is that it's 3 in the morning, right? Whenever I get there, after I get there and I'm tired, right, and I want to just chill and relax and do my thing. I don't want to go and have a conversation with you at 3 in the morning. Number one. Number two, I'm laying in bed, right? And as soon as I'm done, y'all are gonna understand why I had to go and block him and why I had to change rooms. Because the dude comes up to me and talks to me, right? And I'm laying in bed, I'm ready to go to sleep. All he's got on is some boxers, and he's like right here. He's standing up, and I'm in bed, and he's like right here. And I don't mean his face is right here. He's talking to me right here when I'm laying down in bed, trying to have a conversation with me. That's what he's doing. I had to
Hey, man.
go. Listen, if we work together, I may or may not have gone to HR after that point. I'm just saying. All right. Because
Since then, we've never roomed together. We're not allowed. He will
it's
not even. He doesn't even ask me
no, I'm telling you,
anymore.
I
He
got
doesn't
like
want to split.
PTSD. I got like PTSD because of it. Anyway, we're gonna go and move on. We're gonna get back to
Let's
it. I
talk about
wanted.
the main focus of this event,
Oh,
man.
wait a minute, man. Wait a minute. We're gonna go. We're gonna go and get there, man. You need to stay on topic for a minute. I want to go and talk about Dennis, because we talked about him going and losing the filler the way that he did in 7-0 was pretty brutal. But what's next for RoboCop? Um, you know, I
What is next? Does
I hope we
anybody?
get to go and see him. He's gonna play the UK Open. I don't think he's in Romania. I do know he, from what Joe Long has posted online, that he does have uh, a meeting with, I want to say, immigration sometime next month in the Philippines to go and get his
The progress.
A1, which is his athlete's visa.
And
Um,
Joe Long is the baddest lawyer in Baton Rouge.
he is, and he knows, and he's actually great amount of knowledge of one pocket. If you don't know
Yep.
that as well,
He's adding money to the Buffaloes event. I mean, he's in the pool world. You got the right
yeah,
one. They messed with the right one.
yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, Dennis. Listen, Dennis plays good. That's why everyone wants to get him back. They want to get him
Yeah,
back because Dennis
he's good
Dennis
for
makes
man.
he makes the pool economy in the USA go round. So there's a lot of guys in his corner. I've heard some optimism. I've heard some skepticism. Remains to be seen. Nevertheless, if we're gonna go and just see Dennis play more proper events, at least we get to go and see some of Dennis, because kind of like Darren, he's not getting any younger. So his opportunities are numbered, these days. And at some point, Father Time's gonna go and kick in, and you're gonna be able to go and tail off. It's part of life. So I'm excited. There was parts where Dennis looked really sharp in his match with Kachi, because I thought Kachi opened up like a monster, and Dennis showed what he's made of. Beating Kazakis the way he did, he looked really sharp. But you're running the filler, you're running the filler. I'm excited to go and see Dennis get 2 barrels in the UK Open. Last
Yeah.
time he had 2 barrels was at the US Open, and he made an amazing run there. I thought he had a real good shot that last day to go and snap it off. But yeah, we'll see, man. It's RoboCop, right? We all love to go and see him play pool.
Yeah. I'd like us to all just think positive as far as getting him back and everything goes with the Lord. There's nothing worse than this is his life. You know what I mean? His life was just yanked away from him. So I really hope. I don't know what you do differently when you've been playing pool your whole life. What do you do now as a career? You know what I mean? You got to try to grind it out in the Philippines. That's tough action. But we'll see what happens. But we get to see him in the UK Open, and we're just talking. Where it took 2 days? No. The 15th, right? 17th. We'll see him.
Yeah, it'll start in a few days, and I'll bring up the graphic right now. May 17th through the 22nd. So I'm super excited about that as well. A lot of big guys that are on that page that did not do so well, including Shane and Jason Shaw. So I want to just touch base on them. What do you expect to go and see out of them at the UK Open?
I mean, I'm not a fan personally of the UK Open or the US Open. I just hate that there's a bunch of duns of all that's allowed to get in personally.
What
So
do
I
you
don't
mean?
watch the events for the first 2 days. I know that's an unpopular opinion, but there's no reason to watch the event for the
Okay.
first 2 days because you've got a bunch of duns. I don't want to watch people like me play pool. I can't do it.
Well, that's fine. But the topic was Jason and Shane, dog.
Why you gotta do that to me? I thought you actually.
I'm just saying that was the question, and you
Well,
go
all
off
right.
on
The
a
answer is that
tangent
they're
here.
gonna make it deep. They're gonna easily get to the 5th round no matter what because there's a bunch of they gotta play me. You know. So
I
I
would
don't.
be I would be careful going and saying that. And there's a lot of great 9-ball players out in Europe. There's a
Right.
lot of names that are
Right.
great players in their respective areas that are not known so much per se on the world stage. You know,
This is the first UK Open. I'm gonna retract what I just said.
I'll give you a good example. The shouter,
US Open. I'm gonna
E-
stick to the US
Elliot
Open. In my opinion.
Sanders. Nobody knew who he was 6 months ago, and now he's going to be, because Darren's out. He'll probably end up being Jason Shaw's partner at the what do you call it, at the World Cup of Pool. And the guy plays great 9-ball. He's a regular on the GB9. Fantastic player. Ton of upside. And there's a lot of guys who are going to try to go and make a name for themselves, and a
Right.
lot of really great European players. So
It's a good platform to do that, and I am excited to see the platform players that we don't get to see, like the Loho Sums, the Abdullahs, like those names that we get to learn more about.
yeah, see, don't,
So I
like
retract my statement.
don't
Thank you
talk
for
about it
that.
like you knew who they were 2 years ago. And my point is,
Thank
they
you.
became
You're
that
right.
because they made the best of
You're right.
opportunities, right?
Lower your tone. They
I'm just
lower.
saying. I'm just
You're
saying.
right. You're right. The first time you ever heard that, you're right.
Getting back on Shane and Shaw, I expect a lot.
They're
Two
gonna do
barrels
good.
for both these guys. It's more traditional. It's more in their wheelhouse. I think they're made for events like this. They both know what it takes. I expect them to and I think this is actually playing down to, which is crazy because it's a really deep field. They're playing down to the final 16, not 32. I think they're going to redraw at 16. So I'm pretty sure that's the
You're right.
format.
I'm thinking of the
Um,
Bucharest Open.
right. Yeah. So it's made for them. I like them. Like I said, having two barrels to go and fire at it. And they're both monsters, man. They both know how to play great 9-ball. I'm excited for the event personally. I love that a lot of it will be on the Facebook platform to go and open up, and on YouTube, because for me, I love the convenience of being able to open it up on YouTube versus having to go and open up DAZN, as much as I love DAZN. So I'm excited for that as well.
You get two
Um,
tables. You get two tables, right?
yeah, two tables, and I'm sure there'll be some live scoring. So I mean,
You
they're
can
gonna do it the Matchroom way. They always go all out. So, um, but yeah, just finishing up, I just want to go and talk about the guy who played across Josh in the finals in Loho Sum. What's your takeaway from how he played at this year's Masters?
I think he deserves all the reverence he's getting right now. I loved his humility. When he wins, he couldn't even put a sentence together about how he felt. He was just like, "This is great." He couldn't explain it. And I think what you talked about earlier, as far as Matchroom setting a stage and the opportunity for these people to display their talents that otherwise we would never know, he's the perfect example of why we should let these other people compete, like the UK Open, all that other stuff. He played great. He didn't play good the entire tournament, in my opinion. He played rocky. The first set they missed 15 balls in 12 racks, and he continued not playing great. He just got by and got out when he was supposed to, capitalize on mistakes, which he should. But he did, dog a lot of outs. But when he played Fort, he played great. When he played filler, he played great. So like he started the first three matches not so good, and then ends the tournament playing phenomenal. He just ran into the filler effect, and it's unfortunate, but it's all right.
Yeah, I mean, I think you said it best. I mean, he starts off going in stealing one from Grabe. I don't think he had any business winning that match. Definitely don't think he had any business winning that Shane match. But results are results, man. At the end of the day, you go and chalk it up one way, W's and losses, and he got there when he needed to go and get there
He
for
had two
whatever
different
reason.
battles, right? Two.
Yeah, one against Shane, one against Al Yusuf, and then I don't
Yep.
remember what the Grabe score was, but he beats Fortunsky 7-5 when Fortunsky was hitting on all cylinders. So,
He misses
um,
that first 9 ball, it changed the entire game. Fort misses the 9 ball.
well, I mean, it did, but Fortunsky still had a chance to go and close him out.
He
You
did.
know,
You're right. You're right again. I'm wrong.
um,
Let's get a different
no, I
guess
mean
next.
it's don't answer the phone, right? No, I think you can't go and hate on a guy that made it to the finals. That's the bottom
Right. You
line.
can't.
You got to go and give him some respect. Was
He
was
almost
that
got there, Mike.
was
He
that
almost
softer?
got there.
He did, yeah. And listen, he was probably a 3 game dog in that finals at a minimum, a
He's a
three
three
game dog
for sure.
against Josh. Every match, Shane going to 7, he's probably a 2 game dog against Fortunsky. Maybe like a game at least. Al Yusuf's probably even money. Um,
Mhm.
but it's like when you're an underdog and you become a Cinderella, it becomes great for sport, not just for pool. I love that. I love guys who go and make the best of their opportunities. And really, just what a fantastic event. He really did show his class and his humility, and seems to be a lovable guy to go and root for.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys who may not be like the more vogue names, because for me in Hong Kong, the first name is Robbie Capito, and then it's everybody else. When I see the Loho Sums, the Al Yusufs, the Fortunskis of the world, it really makes me excited for the World Cup of Pool, because um, now it's like you have two A's, not an A and a B. So Capito and Loho Sum gives me optimism. When I think about Omar, which Omar should have been in this event, and Al Yusuf, that's going to be a monster lineup. And then you go and follow that up with Fortunsky and whoever the hell will be his partner. So a lot of
Do,
takeaways, man.
do we have a lot of I didn't really care for the whole one on the spot winner break. I really like Pro Pool to be alternate break. I really
Yeah.
like it. It makes close matches suspenseful, just personally.
Yeah, I mean, I think the amount of balls that were flying in on the break consistently were mind blowing to me. And number one, I love it wasn't a template, but that wing ball was
Still
so
broke
consistent. I think it was through. I think they had less than 10 dry breaks the entire event.
on
Not just
4 inch pockets, wood rack.
yeah. So I mean that should go and tell it like it is right there.
Now, you got to give credit where credit's due. The refs are learning how to rack better in this event specifically, which is good because we always complain about the opposite. So let's give credit where it's due. But still, to have
I
less than
think
10,
I think they're still evolving. I don't think, like, for me the answer is not the 3 point rule. I think the 9 should be on the spot. Maybe
yeah,
go and make them break in a box. I don't know, but
yeah.
I remember last year there definitely wasn't as many balls going and flying in. So
No,
um,
last
this
year the
was
table tightened up faster too. I don't think the table tightened up until the last day here, and that's every day I was thinking, all right, it's day 2, it's going to get a little bit tighter. It still played, you know, as it did. Day 3, it still played as it did. Um, I don't know what that's
I,
about.
I like the excitement of the format. I like the triangle break. I like ref racking, or the triangle rack rather.
Yeah,
But
I don't care for winner break.
I
I like
think you
all.
got to putting that one on the spot is just brutal, man, because those guys can just break the ball so with so much consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think by going and moving that 9 up there, it'll really go and change the game. I don't want to continue to try to change it for the sake of making it more difficult, but I don't think that where it's at now is where it should remain. I'll put it like that.
This
And
person said break one. One of the in the chat it said I like this. It said one on the spot break from the box. That might change a thing or two, but you can still manipulate the one ball still going to go in the side with bottom right. So he just cut break like John Moore does it really well. If you cut break, the one's going to go right in the side. You just draw it out to the middle of the table. Not so much a sky cut break where you go across the table 3 times, but so it still doesn't really solve the problem. But either way, we're
I
trying new
want to
things.
see. I want to see guys. I want to see more pool being played. That's the
Yeah,
thing. You know,
you
I
want
don't
to
want to. A
always
lot of
like
those guys were controlling the one ball coming around 3 rails. You know,
yeah,
I remember last year it wasn't like this. There was a lot more of having to go and move and play actual safety battles and jumping, and a lot of this was a lot more of run. I mean, you saw it in the score with filler. You know,
yeah.
so
Greg says keep it. Greg Ho with Red Door says keep it one way and go with it. And I get it. I personally do like the fact that we're trying to switch things up right now. I think eventually, man, we do got to pick something. I know pool's been going on a long way, but I think times are different. Table equipment's different. Our
right.
sources and equipment are different. And I like the fact that we're trying different things. The ability and talent is getting so much better that we have to adapt and make it something better. I like 4-inch table, 4-inch pockets on a
Yeah, but pools always evolve, though. I mean,
yeah,
listen, if there was no evolution, we'd still be playing with the old school bowling
yeah,
ball, cue ball. You know,
right.
like there's always been evolution in the game, and I know we're like in a fast food culture, right? We're like we want it right now. We want to go and have it be a standard now, but in the reality is it's still evolving. I don't think that this is going to be the way to go and make it like
Yeah.
super tough, which is what I enjoy seeing with these top guys. But
I know
anyway.
that I have rough opinions and I like but I do like the fact that we we're trying new things. So that's all I care about. Whether we
Well,
settle on another thing, but I like trying new things.
let's finish up with the guy who stole the show, Josh Filler. Who's gonna go and beat him, man, playing 9 ball? Because his resume is getting bigger and bigger. Those trophies are getting or running out of room on that shelf. Who can go and stop him, man?
I haven't talked to Roy in a little bit. I was staying in contact with him often, but I kind of we haven't talked since Aiken, South Carolina. What is there any talks about getting him and Shane or him and Dennis or him and Fedor or him and uh, anybody, in the box? Like, what is the talk about that right now? Do you know?
I
Is there anything
I
behind the
think
scenes?
no. I mean, I the ball's been in Josh's court for quite some time, as far as I understand.
Okay.
Um, you know how it is with these guys, though. Like the game matters. I don't think Josh wants any part of playing Shane 10 ball, and I don't think Shane wants any part of playing Josh 9 ball. Um, and it's fair on both sides. As far
Yep.
as playing Dennis, I doubt it just because they have some of the same guys maybe in their camp.
Right.
But I think it'd be a great matchup. But I mean, where are they going to go and have it at? You know, there's no promoters in Europe that are going to go and put that match on.
Nope.
Him playing Federer would be a great matchup, and I don't care what the game is. I know we talk about Federer's 10 ball game, but he has not played a guy like Josh Filler before playing 10 ball gambling. He hasn't played a guy like Josh Filler playing 9 ball. I would love, and I mean love, to go and watch that matchup go and happen.
I think anybody wants to see them all. Even get Kachi in the mix too. Um, I mean, any of those top guys, we just need them. I know we don't see the Europeans gamble a lot, and they won't because they're. And I asked them before, it's more of like a us versus them kind of thing, and I get that. Filler's not made like that, which is cool. He just wants to play, and I like that. But I just want to see him in the grease.
I
I don't
like
want to
that,
talk
he
about.
doesn't go and take it personally. He's one of these guys like
Yeah,
Federer where he likes to go and make money,
yeah,
and he's got a wife, and that's expensive. So,
yeah.
I would love to go and see him play bigger style matchups. I'd love to go and see him play some one pocket matchups. Hell, I'd like to go and see him play even Federer in some one pocket, because I think that would be phenomenal. Even an all around matchup with Federer, I think would be
That'd be
what
great.
would be great. I mean, you
So
talk about
good for
9 ball,
pool.
10 ball, even playing banks, those two together would be just fire.
They literally can get paid in an appearance fee just as much as they can bet, and it would be great. I mean, that's what we want to see is all
Oh,
around.
I mean, they would easily get, I'd say, 5 to 10,000 in just an appearance fee alone, a
ten
piece,
thousand each
a,
for
a
5 days
piece.
easily.
I don't want to say no. I don't want to say 10,000 easy, but I mean
Yeah,
but they'll get within that range. And you're talking about Dennis and Shane money. That I don't think they're not in that same class. I mean they are, but it's like they don't have the resume and the it factor like Shane does. Shane moves the needle, you know.
Shane is Captain America. You're right again. That's fine.
But
I'll just shut up.
I mean, like, listen, they'll get that money if he goes and plays Shane, though. Let him go and play Shane. He'll get that kind of money. I guarantee you. He'll get that kind of money if you go and play Captain America. And I guarantee you, those sales or those pay-per-view buys would be through the roof because people would love. I mean, it would strike up this patriotic chord in
Again,
people that only comes around
all
once a
around
year.
with them too would be great as well.
What do you mean?
And all around with Shane and a filler would be great too.
Who wins what game?
Filler wins 9-ball. Shane wins 10-ball.
You say it like it's a given that Filler's gonna go and win 9-ball. I don't know.
How about
I
this?
would love.
It doesn't have to be a given. That's fine, Mikey. When it happens,
I'm asking.
if the
I'm asking.
inevitable is going to happen, Michael, we can wager dinner. Burns, maybe.
I see you like once a year, and you take me to some busted steakhouse in Aiken, South Carolina.
Guys,
I mean, like
don't
Red
let it
Lobster.
twist it.
Red Lobster was better
No.
than this. Okay,
All I know
okay.
is-
Hold on a second. Before I go on tilt here, I think 9-ball is a flip. 10-ball, I give the edge to Shane. 1 pocket, I give the edge to Shane. I think it would be compelling and exciting. But if you're telling me you want to go with Josh in an all-around against Shane,
I never said that.
Let me know where I can sign up. That's all I'm saying.
The rest, I don't think there's enough information on really, but I think 1 pocket's a flip. I don't know. I think
there's not enough information. We ain't seen Shane play pool in the last 15 years.
I'm talking about that. I'm talking about Filler's 1 pocket game and Shane's 1 pocket game. Like, I'm talking about a lot of, you see them go 8 and out a lot. But moving, who's ever put them to the test with moving a lot? Not many.
I'm just saying, if they ever played an all-around, I'll sign up on the Shane side, and you can sign up on the Filler side.
Now I'm fucking pissed. Either way, guys, don't let them lie to you. What happens is we have stopped betting each other with monetary thing or money because we like to argue and fight over it. So we instead switched it. We trade.
We like to argue and fight,
or hotels, stuff like that. And his thing is he'd win all the dinner bets. He never specifies where to go. So guess what? I either don't show up to the event.
We don't bet one another because he does not run good against me. That's the problem. He does not run that well. That's exactly why. That's exactly why. Let's tell the truth. And when I win some dinner, I'm thinking, here's the deal. Dom for 3 months, and then we're gonna get off here in a second. Dom for 3 months would daily send me photos of like steaks that he's eating for dinner, right? Every day. I mean, every night for 3 months. So when I go to Aiken, the guy owes me like at least 16 dinners, right? I see him. I was only up there for like 3 days, right? I'm thinking we're gonna go eat at some amazing steakhouse. I mean, let me tell you, man, that place was busted, and I mean busted bad.
So bad.
Like it was so bad, dude. It was so bad. Look, Nick's in the chat. Nick knows this guy right here. Where's he at? Right there in the chat. Nick right here. He literally, we bet like a whole round of matches in Vegas one time. I think he literally lost 11 in a row.
Dude, you don't run that good. You do 11 not. Here's what we can do, Mike. We can literally go Facebook Live during one of your podcasts or whatever you're doing here that you call me last minute on, and we can pick publicly and see who comes out on top. And I guarantee you I'll own that 1 PKT hat at the end.
Well, we can bet my hat. No, we can bet my hat.
Oh, because you get it for free.
I get it for man. Listen, that I digress. If you want to do that, big boy, we can do it. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll tell you what we'll do. Okay, Mister. I'm gonna wait until the final 16 of the UK Open to go and watch. Okay. When the final 16 is made, we'll go live, and then we'll pick who we want, and then we'll see whoever's got the overall winning record. We'll definitely get a dinner. And I tell you what, if I win, we're going buying some burritos from the gas station. Okay, wait. If you win, I'm buying some burritos from the gas station. If I win though, we're going to the nicest fucking steakhouse that you've ever been to in your life, my man. Okay, because you owe me that, at least that.
You check the stock market. I'm broke. We can't. I'm air barreling you this dinner, buddy. Go check the stock market.
Listen, I'll see you in a few weeks. I appreciate you coming on late with me.
Much love.
I mean,
nothing but love.
It was slim pickings to go and have Dom on. This is how desperate I was to go and do something. Look at him. He's stressed out over here. He's stressed out over here.
Just say that, Joey bailed on you and he didn't want to be a part of it. And Mike Pinozzo decided to be in Italy. That's how far these people don't want to be with you because you make it stressful to do a podcast with. I'm here. Never declined. You called me. Hey, Dom, you want to jump on a podcast?
Mr. You were like, listen,
no problem, dog.
You know what it is? Like whenever you're young, right? And you go out, right? And then, late night rolls around and you're looking at your phone, right? I'm going to end it on that. And you guys